It is undeniable that CaitlinClark is the engine.
CaitlinClark effect. There has been so much of an influx in attendance, in jersey sales, and viewership, all the things.
That's about star power, narrative, and likability.
CaitlinClark comes into the WNBA, goes through college. She has panache. She has style.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Just in, the latest TV ratings. And once again, CaitlinClark is rewriting the record books. Like clockwork, she's pulling in numbers the league's never seen, and it's becoming harder and harder for the WNBA, or AngelReese, to pretend otherwise. And what was that tweet that Reese fired off after hearing all about this?
2.2 million average viewers
tuned in to watch CaitlinClark and the Fever take on the Liberty.
Peaking at 3.2 million viewers is crazy for the WNBA, even for the Fever.
Became the 6th most watched WNBA regular season or playoff game.
While some folks behind the scenes are scrambling to brush her impact under the rug, the numbers don't lie. Clark is racking up record viewership like it's just part of her warm-up routine. And when she's out of action, the league doesn't just take a dip. It nosedives.
It is the highest peak of any game. It is the second highest viewership. CaitlinClark has picked up an injury after breaking records with both her games on like proper national TV. That would be absolutely ideal. If Caitlin shows up, there's going to be records.
We're talking echoing silence in the stands, tanking ticket sales, and a league-wide panic attack.
It's more statistical proof, data, to confirm exactly what we've been saying, that CaitlinClark is driving this whole ship. Clark is such an overwhelming draw that ticket prices have fallen more than 300% in less than 2 days.
So, someone explains why the WNBA keeps letting this woman get bumped, bruised, and bullied while she's literally saving their season. If you're riding the CaitlinClark wave, drop a number CC record breaker in the comments and let's shine some light on what they don't want you to know. Let's go! Let's break down the numbers the WNBA is hoping you ignore. Just days ago, CaitlinClark's face-off with the New York Liberty brought in a massive 2.22 million average viewers on CBS, peaking at a ridiculous 3.2 million.
WNBA game between the Fever and the Liberty, peaking at 3.2 million viewers. And again, second most viewed game on CBS. This is a crazy situation.
That's not solid. That's historic. Second highest game ever on CBS. Sixth highest in regular or postseason viewership since 2001. All from someone who's still in the early stages of her pro career. She's not just making history, she's casually dunking on it.
CaitlinClark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP. She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
And here's the kicker. The same Fever versus Liberty game last year pulled in 1.86 million, with a peak at 2.64 million. Even back then, Clark drew attention. But this year, a 500,000 viewer boost. All thanks to Clark's unstoppable rise.
Liberty versus the Fever last year on CBS did 1.86 million viewers year over year. Same matchup, same time slot, same network. We saw an increase of around 400,000 viewers on the average and an increase of around 600,000 viewers on the peak. If I'm the WNBA, that's a win.
But let's talk contrasts, shall we? The Liberty vs. Aces season opener, stacked with league royalty like A'ja Wilson and Breanna Stewart, managed just 1.3 million viewers. Not bad, but nowhere close. A few days later, Caitlin hit the court, and boom, another million viewers. AngelReese must have been somewhere side-eyeing the screen like, but what about my double-double?
The CaitlinClark effect has been a net positive for the WNBA and all of its teams. Clark entered the season as a betting favorite to win the 2025 WNBA MVP. She was the lead.
And yet, we still hear complaints about Indiana getting too much coverage. Here's a wild idea. Maybe the team drawing millions of eyeballs actually deserves the spotlight. Imagine that. If Reese wants more airtime, maybe she should try doing more than just mean mugging after missed layups. But what happens when Clark isn't in the lineup? That's where the numbers get dark. And I mean, we might need a flashlight dark. The second her injury was announced, the whole league felt the shockwave. Case in point, Fever vs. Mystics was bumped up to the 14,000-seat CFG Bank Arena because ticket demand was booming. But when Clark was ruled out, prices fell harder than Reese's jump shot. Tickets dropped from $41 to $22, nearly half. And even then, the scalpers couldn't give them away. And then came the real embarrassment. Fever versus Sky, June 7th, United Center, a massive 21,000-seat arena. With Clark healthy, tickets were selling for $86. Once news broke, she'd sit out. Prices plunged to $25, a 71% collapse. That's not just a dip. That's an AngelReese stat line when the lights are bright kind of drop. And yes, even Clark's own Fever weren't immune. Resale prices for the next 5 games, including 2 at home, tanked from $137 to $80 after her injury. The difference? Clark's presence, or lack thereof. The moral of the story: when CaitlinClark plays, the league shines. When she sits, the league scrambles. And while Reese is out here curating her TikTok highlights, Clark's just out here changing the game. For real. While AngelReese fires off cryptic tweets saying things like, "These records will come to her too," Clark is already breaking them. Fans aren't just watching CaitlinClark, they're rearranging their lives for her. We're talking full-on multi-thousand-dollar vacations, booked just to catch a glimpse of her magic on the court. One family reportedly spent over $3,000 on flights, hotel, game tickets, snacks, the whole 9 yards, only to cancel the entire trip once news broke that Caitlin wouldn't be playing. They didn't resell the tickets. They gave them away and moved their trip to August, holding out hope she'd be healthy by then. Why? Because they weren't there for the Fever. They were there for CaitlinClark, the only show in town. And the league knows this. You could almost hear the panic in the WNBA's marketing department when Clark was ruled out. Suddenly, like clockwork, they started pushing last-minute ticket ads for the exact games she wasn't going to play. Strange coincidence, right? Because they're not doing that for the Phoenix Mercury. They're not scrambling for the Seattle Storm. They're not begging fans to show up for AngelReese and her 6 missed layups. It's like a mini Wall Street collapse every time she's not in the lineup. Fans dump tickets like they're holding on to Enron stock in 2001. Prices nosedive. Once-packed arenas become echo chambers. The same seats people were fighting over days earlier suddenly can't be given away. That isn't fandom, that's an economy. CaitlinClark is the stock market, and when she's benched, the market crashes. So why, in the name of logic, does the WNBA keep letting their biggest asset get brutalized like she's a tackling dummy in a contact sport? They're fine using her face to sell jerseys, pack stadiums, and land primetime TV spots. But the second she's thrown to the floor with no call, crickets. When she's hacked going to the rim, silence. The league vanishes like AngelReese's efficiency in the fourth quarter. That's not negligence. That's cashing checks with one hand and turning your back with the other. Now, let's get to the part no one wants to say out loud, but everyone sees. While CaitlinClark is rewriting the record books and dragging the WNBA into the mainstream, she's being low-key sabotaged, not ignored, targeted. It's a silent war. A battle waged in the media, on social media, and sadly, even on the court, fueled by envy, insecurity, and double standards, all aimed at making the one player who's keeping the lights on feel like a problem. Christine Brennan, a respected voice in women's sports, dared to question a violent eye poke delivered by Dejanai Carrington. No hot take, no exaggeration, just concern for a player getting mauled. And she got shredded for it. The online mob came for her like she'd kicked a puppy. Her crime? Defending CaitlinClark. And what did the WNBA do? Absolutely nothing. Not even a, "we're looking into it." They watched one of their own get publicly dragged and didn't lift a finger. Because let's face it, standing up for CaitlinClark doesn't fit their storyline. She's not flashy. She's not the influencer type. She's not out here dropping cryptic Instagram captions after a 5-for-8 shooting night like some players who shall remain nameless. No, Caitlin's game is pure. It's precise. It's the kind of basketball people want their kids to watch, and that makes her a threat to a league that's more focused on narrative than results. Let's talk about security, or lack thereof. Last year, CaitlinClark faced a credible death threat from a stalker. Let that sink in. And what did the WNBA do to address it? Pretty much nothing. No public statement, no protective measures announced, no league-wide support. Now she has to travel with her own private security team. Imagine if this had happened to another player, say one of the league's favored faces. You know there would have been press conferences, league memos, and hashtag campaigns. But Caitlin? Crickets. This isn't ignorance, it's hypocrisy on full display. The WNBA shouts about fairness, equality, and visibility. Yet the one woman bringing millions of eyes to the league is the same one they consistently ignore when she's knocked down, literally and metaphorically. Meanwhile, you've got AngelReese parading around as if she's the face of the WNBA, when her stat line looks like a roller coaster stuck at the bottom of the hill. All flash, no finish. She talks big, posts bigger, and plays, well, let's just say Clark's game speaks louder without needing subtitles. Reese is all about branding. Clark is all about buckets. Then there's the officiating in that record-breaking Liberty game. 3.24 million viewers. By the way, Caitlin got roughed up like it was open gym at a prison yard. Elbows, shoves, blatant hacks, all ignored. And then the cherry on top, a phantom foul call that flipped the game. The fans were outraged. The replay was damning. But the league? Still quiet. How is your most valuable player getting treated like a walk-on during scrimmage? And don't get me started on the league's marketing whiplash. When she's healthy, they milk every second of her presence. She's on the posters, the promos, the merchandise. But the second she's injured? Poof. Gone from the narrative until ticket sales crater. Then it's bye now. As if her ghost might show up for a layup. It's embarrassing. Here's the real story. CaitlinClark is the reason the WNBA hasn't flatlined. She's the media buzz, the TV deal sweetener, the spark that got dads, kids, and casual fans actually caring about women's basketball. And instead of protecting that movement, the league is acting like it's allergic to success. For the first time ever, the league was really and truly on the national map. If the WNBA had any sense, they'd be building around her, promoting her, protecting her. Instead, they're letting players take cheap shots while others cry about airtime they haven't earned. The jealousy is so thick, you can cut it with a crossover. Clark's not just putting up points, she's exposing the system. A system that cashes in on her name while doing absolutely nothing to support her. When she plays, records fall. When she's gone, so are the fans. The WNBA needs to stop pretending she's replaceable. She's not. She's the one holding the league together, with nothing but talent, grit, and a smile that's still there even after a dozen missed calls. So ask yourself, how much longer can a league ride the wave without giving credit to the surfer? CaitlinClark carried the WNBA into the national spotlight. Now it's time the league carries her, with the respect she's earned. And AngelReese? It's time to leave her in the dust. Like, subscribe and turn on all notifications so you never miss out.